I love these slow news days, especially.
Yeah, right?
I record a podcast on Tuesdays. It's called the Bob Cesca Show. It's on the Sexy Liberal Podcast Network. I record the show on Tuesday, and then it becomes completely out of date seconds later when two gigantic stories happen.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful to the news cycle. Thank you, news cycle.
I should tell you, we are recording this, and I am wearing an FBI wire, and I do have pictures of you with underage action hero toys. Okay.
Oh my God, this story. I don't know where to begin with this. This other guy, is it Jim Greenberg?
Yes. Oh,
yes.
Oh wait, let's get into that. Yeah, we were just in the weirdness of the Tucker interview, but please do. Let's go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, we want to talk about. Okay, we're talking about Matt Gaetz and Jim. Is it Jim Greenberg? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Good.
I believe so. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I've seen this guy.
Okay,
I've seen this guy in pictures with Roger Stone for a couple of years now. I remember distinctly seeing his face, like smoking cigars in videos with Roger Stone.
Yes, can I have some fun facts music? Some breezy informational music, just to set up, Bob, so people don't know. So, hello, good morning. Matt Gaetz is being investigated for human trafficking with a 17-year-old. That means you took a 17-year-old over, state lines for the purposes of, wow, chicka wow.
Sex.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, it's not clear how Gaetz met the girl who was believed to be 17 at the time of the encounters. The investigation opened in the final months of the Trump administration. Wow, that blows that whole witch hunt thing, doesn't it? It's part of a broader investigation, as Bob alluded to, into a political ally of his, a local official in Florida named Joel Greenberg. We got the name wrong.
Joel
Greenberg, who was indicted last summer on an array of charges, including, weirdly, sex trafficking of a child. And financially supporting people in exchange for sex, at least one of whom was an underage girl. He visited the White House with Mr. Gaetz. Greenberg did in 2019, according to photographs. And then, as you alluded to, there are lots of pictures of him with Roger Stone, which is weird. Yes. Greenberg maintained ties to controversial figures who supported Trump, a website run by a Proud Boy member. They had a network of fake social media accounts linked to Roger Stone, have promoted false accusations against Mr. Greenberg's rivals in Florida. Good God. And then there's that selfie of Gaetz and Stone and, Greenberg. And he said in it, great catching up. You fill in what they were catching up on. But okay. The following year, Gaetz expressed support for Greenberg's successful bid for local office, predicting he would someday make a great Early on, Bob Gaetz said, the investigation, yes, I know it has to do with women. It's kind of weird that he made a point of going, it's about women.
It's not necessary.
I have a suspicion that someone is trying to recategorize my generosity to ex-girlfriends as something more untoward. Clutch the pearls.
God,
all right,
please.
Bob. So go ahead. We just set up who that is, Greenberg, but go ahead.
Okay, well, first of all, it's very clear now why Matt Gaetz was never hired by the Trump White House. You notice that Trump was poaching some of those guys, trying to find desperately someone who was at some point a lawyer to work at the White House. I mean, you had Mark Meadows going over there. I'm not sure if they were ever considering Devin Nunes or Jim Jordan, but Matt Gaetz was another guy who did a lot of grunt work for Donald Trump on the Hill.
He did just teach a masterclass in how not to be a lawyer if you're in the middle of a federal investigation. But go ahead.
Yes, that's exactly right. And so, it's no wonder that because I'm sure the vetting turned up something weird along those lines. I'm just speculating here.
Someone in the meeting, excuse me, not that guy, Mr. President, not that guy.
Also,
someone at the back of the room wildly, like, no, not that guy.
Do not hire Matt Gaetz, my God. And I'm surprised Trump didn't do it anyway, because anytime you tell Trump not to do something, he automatically wants to do it. He's like a child.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I keep thinking about with this story, especially when you loop in Greenberg as well, is I've just been watching that HBO documentary about Q.
I was just going to ask you. You tweeted all about that, and Bob, I was just going to ask you all about that because how weird is it? It's always what they accuse others of. I mean, what's her name? Sean Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh yeah, I mean it's incredible.
She was just charged with more counts now of sex trafficking. I mean, the whole time weren't you like, wait, Democrats are the pedophile? Donald Trump is friends with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and now Matt Gaetz, and I'm like, what do you? Roy Moore, they're the pedophiles, right? It's mind blowing that you're like that. This whole Q thing is based on that it's Democrats that are pedophiles, right?
Yeah, it's basically a cabal. Q is calling out, or the Q collective and so on. They're calling out the existence of satanic pedophiles among the intelligentsia, the glitterati of this country, the politicians, celebrities, and so on. And that's the entire central thrust. It's, first of all, they believe that there is a demon that lives under the earth, and his name is Satan, and he helps celebrities drink baby blood.
Eat babies, right? No, thank you for watching this so we didn't have to, because I was...
Right.
Because...
No desire.
Right, in the story, Trump is the one that's going to save the world from this. I'm like, he's been accused of rape by an underage girl. He was at Epstein's house. Like, going, wait a minute, what? How did this whole... Okay, that part I don't get.
But see, that's part of the deep state. The accusation, the switcheroo, is that the deep state is saying that it's like this whole thing where they're blaming Trump and they're blaming people like Greenberg and Gaetz and so on, and Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and all these people, but it's actually the Democrats. And so that's the conspiracy. It's the switcheroo. You got to pay attention, as Q always says. Q always says, pay attention.
But the larger point, Bob, for our politics that you made on Twitter, you said we started watching the Q documentary on HBO. So many wildly impressionable and obsessive suckers drawn in by an obvious stunt. It's a disturbing example of American gullibility. No wonder Russia and other hostile operatives see the U.S. as populated by easily influenced dupes. And that goes right to all of our collective health right now with the vaccine. That Russia is heavily in all these insane vaccine conspiracy theories that is, I mean, Bob, it is to be trapped in this, like we're trapped in this ride, right, with these other people, that we are getting. The vaccine news is so amazing, including the new Pfizer news Chris was just talking about this morning about, working on teenagers. I mean, we could really be back to normal in record time if people would just wear a mask and distance for a little while longer. We have to, but you're right. Russia is, obviously working overtime on this, just like on the Q stuff. And that's the danger, right? Is so many easily duped Americans, as you say.
Yeah. And it's no wonder that this Russian operation actually worked, because ultimately, the American people are the townspeople from The Simpsons. I mean, anyone comes down the pike saying, I'm going to sell you a monorail, we're all on board, because we are so badly impressionable and paranoid and obsessive. And that's the crazy thing about this Q thing, is that it's almost like an online video game where Q puts these missives in these little drops. They're called Q drops, and puts them up on 8chan. And then all of the disciples see the coded language and the weird symbols and everything like that. And then they fan out across the internet, which is terrifying. And they go to try to find out what all these symbols and the word usages actually mean. So it becomes this treasure hunt. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Use treasure hunt.
Well, the fact that they're insurrectionists and white supremacists and all of these, in the Capitol rioters, is, you're right, it's obscured the fact that they're just deeply mentally ill people, that they're all QAnon. I mean, they all believe this nonsense. And, Bob, do real world things like, once again, another Republican Trump boy, Matt Gaetz, involved in this now. I mean, does it penetrate Q world at all, do you think? That you're like, it's Trump world, it's not liberals, right?
Well, as I said, the Q line is going to be that it's the deep state who's persecuting Matt Gaetz in order to distract from Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and, Tom Hanks going to Comet Ping Pong and drinking blood. That's what...
It's like they've made up an excuse for everything that we can think of to debunk. Q. Yeah.
Well, that's how Trump would get away with all those mea culpas. I think we've talked about this before. Like when Trump says, oh, I don't want any violence and I respect the police. Well, all the Q people and all the red hats, all his disciples go, oh, well, he has to say that in order to actually do his real agenda. This is just to satisfy the deep state, to satisfy the press. That's they will delude themselves into anything. This is what we're experiencing right now with the Q people and the red hats, and certainly the viewership of Fox News Channel is like Christopher Guest characters writ large, like as a global movement, that level of delusion where they believe something is sincerely and earnestly true, but which is absolutely not in any way, shape, or form true. Well, it's like the Waiting for Guffman cast say, we're going to Broadway. Well, no, you're not going to Broadway.
That's exactly it. That is the perfect analogy. They're like the Waiting for Guffman cast.
Except filling Trump re-inauguration. It's Broadway. We're going to the Trump
right.
I mean, the pillow guy's like, he's going to be back in by August. You know, it's like,
they're seriously deluded, and nothing else enters their mind other than them getting their way and winning.
That's right. That's right. And that kind of person is so easily manipulated because we've seen it with cults time and time again, like the doomsday cults. Oh, yes, the end of the world is going to happen on May 4th, 2021. And then May 4th, 2021.
Sell all your stuff. Give us all your stuff.
We meant August. Oh, we meant next year. Next May.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
So the goalposts keep moving.
No, this is the new improved Rapture helmet. That one was not good. It's a good thing it didn't happen then. Here, buy this one.
Rapture helmet. Yes.
Bob, somebody tweeted, G. Gordon Liddy is having a considerable better day yesterday than Matt Gaetz. And
Mr. Fugelsang, yes.
You told some. Was that his? You told.
I think it was John's. Yeah.
You've told some great G. Gordon Liddy stories because you worked with him at the radio station. Now he called you High Pockets, I believe.
High Pockets. What? Yeah. He alternated between Stretch and High Pockets because he was a very, very little man and I'm very tall, and so that was his thing with me. Yeah. Well, it's funny. I'm being contacted all over the place ever since it was announced yesterday afternoon. I've been getting emails and DMs and everything like that as if I'm the widow, as if I'm the grieving widow. We're so sorry, Bob. We know you worked with G. Gordon Liddy there for a while, and it was not pleasant. I shall tell you this right now. Really? It was not fun working with G. Gordon Liddy. He was psychotic and weird.
You said earlier, you're like, he almost killed me one time. And I'm like, didn't he almost kill everybody one time? Didn't he threaten almost everybody?
How much time do we have left? Because I got to tell a G. Gordon Liddy story, at least one G. Gordon Liddy story.
Can I tell my quick one? Is he hit on me at a political conference? Like,
did he really?
Yes. I don't know why I met him. He's like, you're quite a looker there.
He was very proud of 2 male organs that he has. He was very proud of his bees. He was like, I don't know. I'm not sure what I can say on the radio in terms of what G. Gordon Liddy would always.
False.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Go ahead. Tell your story. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, one time, I was interning for Buzz Burbank at WJFK in Washington, D.C., and G. Gordon Liddy also did his show out of that same radio station. So I would get in early and start to prep the news for Buzz, go through the wire services and things like that. And one day I'm doing that, and G. Gordon Liddy comes into the newsroom, and he's really angry about something, really flustered. And it turns out Buzz had a autographed photograph of David Letterman on the wall of the newsroom.
Yeah.
And Liddy could see it in his peripheral vision. And he did not like seeing David Letterman's face in his peripheral vision. G. Gordon Liddy, for some reason, hates David Letterman. I don't know why. He's like, get that silly-looking guy off the wall. And High Pockets, take that thing down. And so he wanted me to take down Buzz's picture of David Letterman. And I said, Mr. Liddy, I can't do that. It's not my picture to take. You're going to have to talk to either Buzz or you're going to have to talk to Don or Mike because they were Buzz. Yeah. And so that got into of course, I ran and told Buzz, and I ran and told Don and Mike. And of course, G. Gordon Liddy was very, very flustered that I said no to him. And so, of course, he stormed off and makes that noise.
Like the penguin.
Like a penguin. Yeah, exactly. And so we decided between myself and one of the other interns at the station, Rob Spiewak, we decided to photocopy David Letterman's head at various sizes And we wallpapered the entire radio station with David Letterman's head. We glued little ones to the ficus tree.
Wacky radio DJ stunts, everybody. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. We were not going to let Liddy get away with that. We even put one big giant Letterman head on the inside of the elevator door, so that when Liddy got onto the elevator to go down to his car at the end of his show, and the elevator closed, in comes the Letterman head staring right back at him in the elevator. And so that was my favorite part of it. But see, what we were doing, we were antagonizing the Watergate mastermind.
Right.
The guy who around with like a ninja blade in a holster strapped to his ankle because he can't carry a firearm.
You're not a smart man, Bob. You're not. You know what? I just realized we have to have a happy hour. We have to have you, Jill Winebanks, and Buzz for just G. Gordon Liddy's story happy hour.
Like a Watergate happy hour. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So there we are, antagonizing this guy who's probably killed a few people.
Right.
Who is verifiably psychotic. I mean, he was too crazy for Richard Nixon.
If nothing else, he could have kneecapped you because he came up to about your kneecaps, I'm guessing. That's how small, right?
He was really tiny. He was just...
You better wear knee pads, mister.
Take a note from G. Gordon Liddy's radio show. He used to spend the first hour of his 3-hour nationally syndicated radio show doing nothing but reading the newspaper out loud. And I'm not saying that he would see a line and then say, and then go off in a rant about the line or so, as a launching off point. He would just sit there and go, all right, here from page B12 of the Washington, and he would never say Washington Post. He would always bleep the Post.
Proving our point, any right winger can get a radio show. You do not have to be good.
That's just it. It was the least entertaining. That's the thing about G. Gordon Liddy that very few people know. He was immensely boring. He was just a boring old man, and the word doddering was thrown around a lot at the radio station.
Oh my God!
Whenever we talk about him, just a doddering old man, and his chair in the air studio smelled bad.
It
was a bad smelling chair.
Wow.
My skin, I think, still
about that chair.
My skin still crawls from him hitting on me. I think even more than Rush, because Rush, it wasn't in person, it was on the radio. But G. Gordon Liddy was in person, and it was weird.
Gordon Liddy,
how you doing? You want to go to lunch after this? Oh, nice pins.
I'm trying to pinpoint the odor. It was sort of somewhere between it was like old man Drakkar Noir and body odor.
Cigar smoke. Ew.
Farts.
All right.
Old man farts.
All right, Bob. Let's look at you. You have to go now. You can hear these and more wildly entertaining stories on the Bob Cesca Show from your podcasting superstation, the Sexy Liberal Podcast Network.
And I love to tell them. Yeah.
I love you, Bob. See you next week.
I love you, Stephanie. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob.